Good morning all, CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Tuesday morning, December 8th. We're looking at the last 2 or 3 days of the SPY ETS market profile here on Window Trader. A lot to talk about this morning. Let's first start off with, I said this in the room, I'm not sure if I said in the video about you can't outlast the market. And what I mean by that is a couple of things I did yesterday. Even though they turned out to be right, not in the time frame that I was looking for them in, and it cost me on both of them. The first was I continually told the room I did not think these single prints would hold. Now, I didn't get long in I or J. I got long in K period. And I didn't get long in K's high. I got long around here. But I got out because I said if L takes out K's low, I'm out, only to see it fill. I also said I thought they would fill here in I period. Now, I didn't take those trades, but it took almost 2 hours to get what I was expecting. Then the second thing, in M period, took out the high of L, took out the low of L, started rallying, took the short, thinking we'd come back down, thought the odds were pretty good of coming back down and getting the overnight low, only to see it come all the way up here and close up here and then close out for a big loss because I rarely like to go home with a position. It was a fairly large one. Well, look where we are this morning. So that loss would have been a nice gain. But again, can't outlast the market. Two very important things. Now, here's something, if you're ever going to learn one thing from me, I hope it's this. I know I stress it a lot. M period is the most unpredictable, mindless machines, traders getting whipped around all the time. All the time. Just look at these M periods. Look at this one here. Look where we open. Look at here. This is such a perfect example. Took out L's high, took out L's low, take out L's high, close up here, and now we're looking to gap lower. Mindless. It is the most mindless thing during that trading day, but it's a lot more important, obviously, the next day going forward. You need to keep those things in mind. All right, let's go over destinations and a game plan for this morning. So right now, with 75 minutes to go prior to the opening, we're going to use yesterday's low as both sides of the equation. Now, another thing, remember, we closed all the way up here. Here's where your price probe was. Said we won't know if it's accepted until A period. Well, right now, it might be accepted, even though up here didn't look it. And here's a very important point also. This is where change took place. Basically, you could say this is where your price spike was, even though M ripped above it initially. So upside destinations. If we gap lower, the first destination will be M's low 367.72. And we have the price probe of 367.89, very close to each other. So it's going to be very important to see if the gap closes, do we get this acceptance into M? We know what happens then, although A's low is going to play a huge factor if you get up to that level. Above that, we don't have anything then to 369.59. Daily high, and then the weekly high and overnight high, which you should have. For the downside, if we do not gap lower, we'll use yesterday's low of 367.72. Then we have the daily low from the 4th, 367.22. 365.50 daily low, and remember 365.49, the afternoon pullback. Very, very weak reference point, which if we get acceleration out of an inside day, should get hit. And if we get that, then we have the daily low and the bottom then of a 5-day balance of 364.20 and filling the gap at 363.12, a 108-point gap from December 1st. So game plan for this morning. Well, again, remember, we had an inside day yesterday. So just like we showed you in the triple Qs yesterday, you have an inside day, you go with it and monitor it for continuation or lack of. Sounds like a lot, but it's fairly simple. So if we do either gap lower or open inside yesterday's range and then take out M's low, you go with that trade with a put or a short. And you monitor it for continuation. Your first destination would be this daily low and then that very visual area down here. If you get lack of and say we only get this and then come back into the day's range, well, that's lack of continuation. I'd get out of the trade and reassess. If we're then to pull back up somewhere around A's low, again, you could look to take a put play, and then I'd be out either with an acceptance inside A or above M from yesterday. So those are two put plays for this morning, early. Call play, right here, don't have one. Now, if in the next 75 minutes we do not come take out yesterday's low and open inside, you can take a call play against M's low. But just remember two things. Number one, you'll be buying with lower value. And number two, if you do take out M's low, I would exit that trade right away. Again, two very early plays here in CamelbackTrading.org's voice channel room. And then on the chart, I'm just going to show you the daily. We had an inside day. We said if we come out of it to the downside, it becomes at least a 3-day balance, depending on how much we get stretched. If it stretches it more, it would be a 6-day balance, including today. And then you look for the bottom of the balance, which is 364. I'm sorry, yeah, 364.20, and then see what happens with that gap. Right? That's something the buyers want to hold as the bottom of this balance, because if not, and you fill this gap, now you get accepted into this balance. More importantly, you'd be accepted into the previous all-time high. So that 364.38 level for me is very important to hold if we come out of the inside day to the downside. If you do, but come right back in, well, then again, you look to get to the top of this and make all-time highs again. Now, one thing I did forget to show you, and I'll show you quickly, is the Russell and the triple Qs. So here's the Russell. All-time highs yesterday. Right now, earlier this morning, it looked like they might gap lower. Now they're so far inside previous day's range. Remember, they had a trend day from the 4th that has not been taken back. If a trend day is to be taken back, it's usually late in the 2nd day or the 3rd. Well, this is day 3. Here's their pullback from that day, and here's the single print. So we'll see if those hold. And on the triple Qs, they hit an all-time high yesterday. Look, they came out of an inside day to the upside, got something really nice out of it in A up to D, and then traded sideways most of the day. Right now, they're inside yesterday's range by a pretty good amount. So we'll see what transpires there. Good luck trading today. Have a great day, and we'll recap at 4 p.m.